He's got a gun out. Look. Can you see the guy? Look. Can you see him? He's right there. He's got his gun out. He's in the middle of the street. He's got his gun out and he's in the middle of the street. Are you zooming in? Dude, this is live footage. This is... They've just shot him. They've just shot him. They've just shot him.
Oh my God, dude, that's fucked up.
Dude, they just shot him.
Let's get closer.
No. It's live footage. This is... They've just shot him.
The sounds of
They've
police pistols caught on tape tonight in the deadly St. Patrick's Day shooting in Westport. Tonight, we've got our hands on a compelling audio tape you've got to hear. It's from the deadly Kansas City shooting, and we'll get to that in just a moment.
Shit. Man, we don't need to fight here. That's cool.
No.
Damn.
What?
Oh, yeah. Hey. I got it. Let's go.
New tonight, dramatic footage of a deadly police shooting caught on tape in Westport. KCTV5 has obtained audio of mayhem as the bullets start flying. Let's get straight to KCTV5's Dana Wright. She's live from the scene of that St. Patrick's Day shooting. Dana.
Dee, this is where it happened in front of the Broadway Baptist Church, and police now say 4 officers fired 20 shots here at Kurt Morrissey. Someone that night had a video camera. The audio you're about to hear is the bullets flying as Kurt Morrissey was shot to death. The voices you're going to hear are the 2 amateur photographers who watched the whole thing.
He's got his gun out and he's in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Are you zooming in?
Yeah.
Dude, this is live footage. This is... They've just shot him. They've just shot him. They've just shot him.
That's the audio, but a reporter at 980 KMBZ watched a copy of the videotape too, as 2 amateur photographers filmed the death of Kurt Morrissey. The men behind the camera confirm what police have said all along. Morrissey had a gun in his hand when police opened fire. Of the rapid-fire shots you hear on the tape, the coroner's report shows Morrissey suffered 17 bullet wounds. The Kansas City, Missouri Police Department and the Jackson County Prosecutor's Office are now in hot pursuit of the tape to see if it absolutely and clearly exonerates the 4 officers who fired their guns that night. KMBZ is protecting its source and isn't saying how it got the tape. For now, police, prosecutors, and the public will have to make do with the sounds in Westport that night, not the sights.
He's got his gun out and he's in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Are you zooming in?
Yeah.
Dude, this is live footage. This is... They've just shot him. They've just shot him. They've just shot him.
It's amazing audio there. At the time of the shooting, Morrissey was wanted in Nevada for attempted murder. The 4 officers, meanwhile, have been placed on routine administrative leave. Needless to say, everyone wants to look at this tape. I spoke with police tonight. They want to know who was behind that camera. We'll see what happens. I'm live in Kansas City, Missouri. Dana Wright, KCTV5.
And KCTV5 is working hard to get a copy of that videotape soon. We'll stay on top of this story.
KMBC TV, Kansas City. Thanks, Kansas City, for making us #1. This is KMBC 9 News at 6. Coverage you can count on.
He's got his gun out and he's in the middle of the street. Are you zooming in?
You're looking at videotape of a man just seconds before police shot him to death near Westport, and it was all caught on tape. Good evening, everybody. Larry is off tonight. More on that dramatic tape in just a moment.
You got it? You getting it? You getting this? This is Mothercock News. We've got some police activity. This is Mothercock News. We're hot on the trail.
He's right here.
Right over this way. Right this way. Get all the cops running across the street. Get the cops running across the street.
Now on to our top story tonight, dramatic video of a man killed by police.
As officers were shooting him, 2 local men were recording the whole thing on videotape. KNBC 9's Maria Antonia is here with pictures you will see only on 9. Maria.
Chris and Kelly, at St. Patrick's Day, Westport is packed that night in the crowd. 2 young men with a camera videotaping people celebrating. But then they see a rush of officers and decided to follow. Take a look.
As we were running, they just all started pulling their guns out.
Like any person that would have a camera at that time, we started to follow them.
Nick and Brian thought they were about to see a fight, but what happened next was much more. They saw a man waving what looked like a gun.
It was definitely frightening for him to be walking down the street with a gun.
Police say that man was 46-year-old Kurt Morrissey. That night, Brian and Nick described what they were taping.
He's got his gun out and he's in the middle of the street. Are you zooming in? Dude, this is live footage. This is... They've just shot him. They've just shot him. They've just shot him.
Watch the video again in slow motion. We stopped the video portion before the suspect was shot. Police say he was wanted for attempted murder in Nevada.
You could hear something about like drop the gun or drop something, and then he just continued, and about, I don't know, about 20 seconds later they just shot him.
As part of the department's policy, 4 officers were placed on leave after the shooting, pending an internal investigation. The young men who shot the video only wanted their first names used. They say they do plan to talk with police.
Thank you, Maria.
On St. Patrick's Day, police shot and killed a man who was waving a gun at them. Now tonight, for the first time, you get to see what 2 men witnessed with their video camera. Also, you will hear from them as they describe the whole ordeal.
They were just pretty much kids that were shooting a video camera.
Documenting life on Kansas City streets is a hobby for Nick and Brian. But what they witnessed on St. Patrick's Day night is a side of life that's left them stunned.
We got to Broadway and we stood there, and then that's when we noticed, about a minute or 2 into the film, that there was a man walking down the street with a gun in his hand. He's got his gun out and he's in the middle of the street. He looked pretty, I mean, to me, I thought he was probably on some kind of drugs, because he seemed erratic and he was definitely not complying with the police officers, you know.
Nick and Brian's tape shows police guns drawn, watching the man. Then...
Dude, this is live footage. This is... They've just shot him. They've just shot him. Like, everything slowed down, and it just seemed like it wasn't happening.
I really couldn't believe it was like happening. You know, I mean, something you just see on TV. I didn't think you were really going to see someone getting shot.
Our video shows the man down. This stretch of Broadway roped off with crime tape. A scene Nick and Brian won't forget.
I just happened to witness someone's death. I thought maybe he just shot, but I found out later when he died, and I was like, whoa, you know. And
4 police officers were placed on leave after the shooting, pending an internal investigation. That's the police department's policy. The 2 men who shot the video are planning to talk to police, but they did ask us to use only their first names. Chris?
Live, in action. Seems they have someone in Amoco.
God damn it, car's on. Let's get over there.
Drawn, guns drawn, guns drawn.
Dude, he's running fucking.
He's got a gun out. Look, can you see the guy? Look, can you see him? He's right there. He's got his gun out. He's in the middle of the street. He's got his gun out and he's in the middle of the street.
Yeah.
Are you zooming in?
Yeah.
Dude, this is live footage. This is... They've just shot him. They've just shot him. They've just shot him.
Oh my God, dude, that's fucked up.
Dude, they just shot him.
Let's get closer.
No. Mother cop. I don't know, dude. I don't want to get this tape taken. There's cops up there, dude. I don't want to. Dude, let's not get it taken. Come on, let's go. Let's go. Come on. This is Mothercock News. They fired him. They fired shots. Shots fired.
KNBC TV, Kansas City. Thanks, Kansas City, for making us #1. This is KNBC 9 News at 6. Coverage you can count on.
It's very easy when someone's with a gun to turn and run the other way. We get paid to do just the opposite.
Good evening, everybody. Larry is off tonight. Did police do the right thing the night they shot a man in Westport?
In tonight's top story, one you will see only on 9, police sat down with our Maria Antonia to take a look at the tape of the shooting and give us their reaction. And she's in the newsroom now with their response. Maria?
Kelly, it's the same tape Channel 9 got from 2 young men out in Westport celebrating St. Patrick's Day. This afternoon, we gave it to the chief of police along with Major Rick McLaughlin. Then the major talked to me about what they saw.
This is evidence of an incident of great importance to this police department.
And the first thing police noticed on that tape is officers running towards the armed man.
There are a lot of people on foot. There are a lot of people driving by in vehicles.
And the number of people who might have been in harm's way that night when officers surrounded a man seen in the tape apparently pointing a weapon.
And it was a case of where you had police officers putting themselves as the buffer in between party armed with a gun and the crowd.
And in the crowd, 2 young men taping when the shots were fired. In slow motion, you can see the moves that had police worried.
You can see where he's moving the gun up and down. You could see at one point there where he walked just within a matter of just a few feet of a police officer. When he's dropping that firearm down, that creates an imminent threat to other people.
From what you've seen, does it appear your officers did the right thing?
That's not my decision to make.
But while the investigation into what happened out here goes on, there is one answer the department can offer right now.
In partially answering your question, say that what we have observed on the tape so far seems to match completely the statements from the officers at the scene that night, as well as the statements from independent witnesses.
Dude, they just shot him.
Now, police say officers fired several shots after the suspect fell to the ground because he continued to raise the gun and still presented a threat. The 4 officers who fired shots have been placed on paid leave pending the outcome of the investigation. We do have one final note. We chose not to show the actual moment the suspect was shot because we did not feel that was appropriate video for a newscast that is often viewed by entire families. But you have seen the events leading right up to the moment of the shooting.
Dude, this is live footage.
Police say officers fired several shots after the suspect fell because he continued to raise the gun and still presented a threat. The 4 officers who fired shots have been placed on paid leave pending the outcome of the investigation.
More money for the police, but how much more money do you want to spend? It's Commitment 2000 coverage tonight.
Dude, this is live footage.
Police say officers fired several shots after the suspect fell because he continued to raise the gun and still presented a threat.
Everyone wants to look at this tape. 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 Everyone wants to look at this tape.
Hold on. How many people in the place are down with drum and bass jungle type music?